All right, it looks like it works. So I'm going to continue streaming this stuff and recording it, and at the end I'll just check it out and see what the quality's like. And in the meantime, I'm just going to be fooling around. I'm working on this little command line to do app, so I'm just going to keep going with that. And I've just got to remember what I was up to. I have a couple of to-dos there. I can either start making sub-commands work, or I can work on automated setup of the repo when you start using the to-do app. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Because at the moment when you run it, it tells me I've got to run the build. Okay, not very useful at the moment, it just says hello world. So let's have a look here as I think about my next steps. Yeah. So let's get my tests running. What I really want to do is try to detect a config, and if I don't find one, then I want to run the init script. So I think I've got a thing that can do that. Let's import the loadrc function. Oops, from loadrc. And this should print pretty much nothing because there isn't an RC. Or actually, maybe there is an RC in this directory where I'm running right now. I can see that's going to get old real fast because I've got to run it every time that I want to. Okay, so the RC file is indeed there. So I guess the first thing we should do is if rc log it, otherwise offer to create it. And if we do have it, then I need some abstraction for running commands, because I've got to be able to invoke commands like get worktree. So I need some abstraction for running arbitrary executables. So let's make that. And I guess we want to know the subcommand, which is a string, and then we want potentially an arbitrary list of args. Right, which is an array of string, and we probably want to be able to return the output, so I guess we'll return that. Maybe later on we want to return a more complex type, like something that reflects the exit code, because for example a command like diff can exit with a non-zero exit code, and that isn't necessarily a failure, it's just transmitting some information about what's going on in the worktree. So here we're going to do should this be async? I think I'm going to make everything sync just to make it fast. Right? Yeah. Run git. And then I guess we pass the subcommand. And we pass the args. So it's not a very interesting function, is it? This doesn't really need to be var because I don't know why I'm even doing it like that. Probably just so it looks nicer if you have to write it out and invoke it manually somewhere. And then we're going to return a string. Child process spawn. Why have I got no auto completion here? Let's get out. Let's just reopen Vim and see if there's something going on there with the language server. Okay. You really just take a command? There's probably quite a few more overloads. Command string args options. So it's going to be executable args. And if I recall correctly, this returns like a tuple-y thing. So let's go check that out actually. Thank you, Google. Whoops. Options. I don't think we care about, well, we might need all of that later, but basically, yeah. Output. Standard out, standard error, status, signal, and error. Okay. Ones we actually care about are standard out, let's alphabetize these. Whoops. We also care about if there's an error, there's a signal, and what was the other one? Status? Yeah. Okay, so later on we're probably going to want some arguments here to control the behavior in response to errors and things like that. If error, I think we're just going to throw the error. Else if status, let's just do everything with errors for now. Hello Anton, thanks for bearing with me as I test my streaming setup. Right now I'm just writing a function to run arbitrary executables so that I can call them from this little node thing that I'm making. So let's go executable, or maybe even this, executable args, and join those with an empty space. And I think maybe put the whole thing in quotes. Exited with status, status. Else if signal, I want something similar. Command exited due to signal. Yes, this is the Linux machine. There is a bit of a fan noise though, because I haven't really tuned the machine yet. Like I think I could probably change the fan curves a little bit, and I'm using a crappy microphone. So yeah, it's probably not the best. But if I got a it's a crappy microphone on the webcam. If I get a more decent like cardioid pattern mic, then I think it'll be pretty good. Cannot find the name executable. Executable. Let's do the same here. Okay, so if anything goes wrong, we're going to wind up throwing an error. Otherwise, we might also want to log the output in that case. I think in general I'm going to want to return the standard out, just for now. And because, actually let me try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but no, I don't have it in my history. Some kind of command I can run to format from in Vim without a plugin, but let's just do it the manual way. Ooh, that's pretty ugly. Okay, but let's write some tests for this. We want to make this in the format 6. Import run from one directory above us. Describe run. It can run a simple command. So expect run true. I think that is just going to return an empty string. It does not, because the thing that it got was not a string. It returns a standard. Hi there. So there's a trailing new line on the end. I guess that makes sense, because I passed echo without the dash n switch. It throws when the command cannot be found. So the question is, what do I think about Flow versus TypeScript? Well, I used to think Flow was a better type checker because it was stricter. But over the years, TypeScript has closed that gap, and obviously the rate of feature development is way faster on the TypeScript front, so it's now in front. So that's why I use TypeScript for everything. Flow's probably doomed now. It's not going to survive for much longer, I don't think, outside of Facebook. So let's make it run a command that doesn't exist. Like my favorite command, non-existent crap. Right, to throw, let's see what it throws. No int, that makes sense. Oops, why am I jammed there? What else could I assert here? The error code, I can make that work pretty. Does false return? It does, so that'll be the one I use. Expected pattern E, no int. Oh, I didn't type it right. It throws. Whoops. It throws when the command exits with a non-zero status. Once again, I don't know what it's going to throw exactly. It's going to be command blah exited with status blah. So we can even write. Does want the error text in there as well? Yeah, that makes sense. Command false exited with status 1. Something like that. The signal one is trickier and I'm just too lazy to test it. Okay, so I guess we can also write some tests for our little Git helper. Let's call it Git. It returns the output from the command. So expect something like git status to, I can't remember the syntax for this, but it could be something like expect, is it string matching? Something. your branch. I guess it could be expect any string, because depending on what branch you're on, or if you're on a detached head. Is that how you do it? Yeah. Or maybe I could write maybe there's a better git command I could use for this. Like git ls tree, that's going to definitely print useful stuff. Something along the lines of digits times by 6 times by the word blob times by something hexadecimal, and then a tab, and then some crap, or really anything at all. I'm not really sure what I should put there. That's probably a strict enough match anyway. And let's just prove that that works by watching it fail. Cool. Okay, so now we have a way to run git commands, which means that I can run git worktree list and find out whether it has the worktree that I want or not. Porcelain, nice, it's got a porcelain option, which is pretty much exactly what I need. With list output in an easy to parse format for scripts, this format will remain stable, blah, blah, blah. Okay. How many branches have I got here? Let's make another. Add. I can't remember the order of the arguments here. It's the path on commitish. Okay, so git worktree, add path temporary, and the thing is attic reason. And now when I do the porcelain list, I get that. Okay. So to go to where I was, I think I was here. If RC worktree, then we want to run. I'm going to want to extract this out somewhere. Worktrees equals git worktree list porcelain. Let's log that. And let's build this stuff. Okay, so it's a full path, which is slightly annoying, but it has all the things I need. So we've got tasks and tasks. Okay. I feel like I want to extract this into a function already. Because I hate having it in this main thing here. I'm going to write it here and then move it. If worktrees, let's just pass it in line here. I could use my string scanner again, I guess. Screw it. I'm going to start extracting this already. Export get worktrees. Okay, and it's going to return an array of worktree. Don't know if I'm going to need a type for this. I might just end up writing it without a type alias. branch. I wonder if that's always true. Can work trees only point at branches? Because it says you can detach them, right? So it might be that it doesn't have a branch in some of them. If commit issues a branch name, call it branch, and is not found, and neither B nor B, but there does exist a tracking branch, call it remote with a matching tree that's equivalent to. I could do a bit of experimentation here. The output details include whether the working tree is bare, the revision currently checked out, and the branch currently checked out, or detached head if none. Okay. I will have to check that out. To do, see what get work tree, or not even see, it's more inspect. What get tree, work tree returns for detached heads. Right. And we want this from okay, so let's look at that output again. I'm going to want my little string scanner class in here. Work trees. The tools from Rome, yeah. So Sebastian has a history of starting projects and then abandoning them. So I personally am perfectly satisfied with the existing tools. So I'm happy to watch this one from afar. And if it ends up blowing away everything else, then I will move over to it, but I'm in absolutely no hurry whatsoever. I'm also skeptical that a single person, even with the help of contributors, can basically replace the entire JavaScript ecosystem, even given unlimited time. I mean, look at TypeScript, for example. Like, I think his original plan was to effectively rewrite all the tools in this ecosystem, including the static type checker itself, and obviously he's had to reduce his ambition a little bit there and leverage, because I mean, nobody's going to write a static type checker on their own, so yeah, it's a bit of a circus, really. I'm not that interested in it. Scanner. Okay, what am I going to do with this scanner? I think when I go, let's just loop forever. Can't beat looping forever, can you? Scanner scan work tree, right, followed by white space. If that's not there, I think I'm going to write this in a function. Expect a pattern, which is a regexp in scanner, which is a string scanner, and return the thing you matched. So if the scanner result equals scanner scan pattern, return the result. If you didn't get a result, then you print out some output. Which is going to be something like expected pattern at location. So line column equals scanner location. No. I think it is. For some reason, LSP isn't really working all that well. Plus, I think we just want scanner context line column, something like that. So that means we can do expect this thing here in scanner. Expect, and let's get this const worktree path equals expect. It's basically anything except the end of a new line. Anything except the end of a line. It's stuff. And then we do expect it to be followed by a new line. And I presume that Git is not going to, I'm just going to assume Git is not going to use carriage returns. And if it is, well, that's just too bad. And so there we can, if we get that, we can trim it. Go on TypeScript, tell me that that's could be null. Why aren't you telling me that that could be null? Okay, what are you complaining about here? Decoration or... Yeah, I don't know what's up with the LSP at the moment. It's supposed to be giving me all this lovely feedback in line, but it's like when I open a new buffer, it doesn't work. Expect the two arguments to pick up one, of course, of course. That's because here I forgot to pass in the scanner. Okay, so that should build now. Let's just look at our worktree output again. Expect head, followed by some kind of white space. I don't really care about the hash. I don't care about the hash at all, so let's just skip over it. $40, so that'll last as long as Git sticks with SHA-1 hashes. We'll see how long that is. What else? Branch. And here I do care about the branch name, don't I? So let's grab that. Const branch. Branch. Or maybe I should call it ref. I don't know. Let's call it branch. And once again, I think what we want here is anything except new lines. Followed by a new line. And then we'll... Let's see if TypeScript wants me this time. I would have thought it would warn me. Oh no, because I've said that it always returns a string, so I don't need the null safe operator there. Right, because if it doesn't match anything, then it's going to throw anyway. So we scan until we can't scan anything else, and I feel like then we want to skip over new lines. At this point, there should be a blank line. Just skip over a white space. Right, so Let's actually make this an array. Call this output. And then once we found that, at this point we can go worktrees, push. What do we want? Head. Oh, head. I actually do need to capture head. Or, like I said, I don't think it matters. When do I ever care about head? I think I'll capture it for now and I might get rid of it later. Note that you might not need this one. Might remove it. Okay, so where are we down here? Okay, so let's stick head there, branch, and worktree path. Right, and then finally at the end, let's return worktrees. Unreachable code detected. I guess that means if, no, let's not do that. Let's do while. Oops. While scanner at end. Okay, so in this repo, we're not guaranteed to have a work tree, especially not with CI, so I'm going to have to make that synthetically. Let's go import worktree. So we've got our little worktree thing there. Trees. Did you mean get work trees? I kind of did mean that, didn't I? Once again, TypeScript isn't warning me about this stuff not being there. Okay. So it's possible that we want to do some massaging there. Like the paths could be made relative, the branch name. Maybe we can get rid of refs heads. Or maybe we could ask that the config files always specify it in fully qualified format. Need to think about that. Const. So we expect branch to be a combination of process current working directory and RC branch. And we expect worktree to be, I guess we can assume refs heads. Refs heads RC worktree. So I got that back to front. Let's look for branch and path. I hate all this variable shadowing. And the fact, I mean, everything's shadowing everything else. It's so annoying. Okay. Branch equals expected branch and path equals expected path. So the idea is here to offer to create it if we don't have it. That's not going to be the final message, but it is representative of the basic idea. Worktree does not exist. Do you want me to create it? What about, what worktree does exist? We've got a branch that is attic reason. The worktree is, where did I put it? Temporary. It still said it doesn't exist. I feel like it does exist though. Log expected branch and expected path, and also log all of the work trees. Work tree does not exist. So expected refs heads temporary, so that's back to front. Why do I keep getting these back to front? So when branch is attic reason, so look here. So we're taking what it says for branch and sticking that in branch. Makes sense. And we're taking worktree and sticking that in path. Which to me seems right. So we got branch, refs heads master, that looks right, and path does look right. And so I had expected branch equals refs head. Oh, here I forgot to change it. So now I should see it's all good. And now when I put this back the way it was, it should tell me that it can't find it. Worktree does not exist. Do you want me to create it? Okay, so that's good. Great, it exists. We can proceed. Once again, this looks like something that doesn't belong in this file. I'll get rid of that because it's pretty much done at this point. So now I need a way to prompt the user for input. Does not exist. This is going to be like a prompt command. Does not exist for branch. Path. RC worktree. That's a thing, right? Okay. I have to use readline for this, I think. Prompt question is a string. And I guess we're going to return whatever the user entered and then decide what to do with it. See if this works. I think we could do with some quotes here. Whoops. Really got to set those bindings. Worktree does not exist for branch tasks at path tasks. Okay, prompt. Do you want me to create it? Log. Question. So we don't want the new line on the end of that, so that's something. We don't want to use log for this. I don't know if we want to have a default prompt here. And then once the user hits enter, well, the thing is we're not actually waiting, so I don't think we need to print a new line here. But I will just to make it look better for now. Okay. All right, so at this point I think I'm going to stop the stream because I've been streaming long enough that I've got enough footage now to like have a good look at the quality and see if there's any tweaks I can make to the setup. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to fine tune this and start doing some actual decent streaming. I mean, they're not too distant future. So I'm going to pause this and I'll catch you later. Bye.